Hello and welcome in, hockey fans. You have found your way back into the neutral zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I am Adam Karnick. Zach Puplis will be along with us in just a moment. A big show for you tonight. In the NHL, it was a crazy weekend. We saw upsets galore. We saw some beatdowns. We saw meltdowns. We had 7-round shootouts. We had a little bit of everything. We will do a quick recap of the weekend. And then also, there are heavy hitters going at it tonight. 3 of the 4 division leaders in the NHL are in action tonight. So, of course, we will keep you up to date on all the scores as they happen. Then over in the world of college hockey, the men's Frozen Four tournament has gotten underway. We will get you caught up on that. Zach has got the update there for us. And then finally, the NHL general managers got to meet in person for the first time since the pandemic started. Went over some potential rule changes, some new things coming down the pipe. We'll close out the show getting you caught up on what new things we might have to expect coming in the world of hockey. All that and more. This is the Neutral Zone. Buckle it on up. We'll try to keep you out of the penalty box. Let's go. And once again, hello and good evening to you. You have found your way into the neutral zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I am one of the co-hosts, Adam Karnick. Zach Puplis, the other co-host, is along with us tonight. Good evening, Zach. How are you?
Fantastic, Adam. How are you?
Well, it's Tuesday. It's hockey night. I'm ready to go.
It's not hockey night in Canada, but it's almost become hockey night in America.
Almost. Yeah, Tuesday has become the crazy busy night across the NHL, has it not?
Yes, sir.
We've got, I'm pulling up the actual game total right now. 9 games in action tonight across the National Hockey League. That's actually a light night. They've had 11 or 12 games going on some other nights. But I already see in the chat our own Larry B is very excited to talk about the Frozen Four as well. So we will, of course, be getting into that. Without any further ado, however, though, we do need to, of course, acknowledge our sponsors and get some of the other formalities out of the way, starting with the Southern California Warriors semi-pro football team. The world of semi-pro sports is unlike any other sports organizations. Players pay to play in hopes of so many different outcomes, whether it's playing to get filmed to try out for professional teams, big-time colleges, or just playing to stay in shape. No matter what, all semi-pro players have one thing in common, and that's playing for the love of the game. The SoCal Warriors have been on a quest to earn titles and give players second chances since 2017. Whether you're in Southern California or anywhere in the world, give semi-pro sports a chance if you love your sport. You may get that second chance you've been waiting for as an athlete. Find them on Twitter at SoCal Warriors, Instagram Southern California _Warriors, or Facebook Southern California Warriors. IE Sports Radio is available for you as well on all the social media platforms at IE Sports Radio on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And for the last 7.5, nearly 8 years now, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content, ranging from interviewing legendary athletes to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the world. All the while, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and with your help, we are ready to take the next step. When you go to our website, iesportsradio.com, you'll see our Patreon link with 5 different tiers. The first one starting at just $5 a month. This donation gets you shout-outs on all 32 of our shows. Higher tiers include IE Sports Radio merchandise, access to our podcasting university, and even a chance to be featured on a segment of our flagship show, The Defining Moment. Thank you all very much for continuing to make IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports. And also some programming notes coming up here. Of course, the 2022 NFL Draft is right around the corner. IE Sports Radio is excited to announce its third annual mock draft challenge. The rules are simple. Predict all 32 first-round picks. No trades, no modifications, no tricks. The participant who has the best mock draft will receive a shout-out on all of our shows and their choice of an IE Sports Radio hat or shirt. For more information or to submit your mock, please reach out to Mike Pat at letswine_IESR. Good luck. And, of course, March is tournament time. Not just the Frozen Four going on, but there's the basketball tournaments going on as well. Can't catch one of the games? We've got you covered across our entire family of networks. USRN, USRN2, Wellington Sports Radio, and IE Sports Radio are all doing live broadcasts of the men's college basketball tournament on the Mixler.com app. And finally, we have a fan of the month for the month of March, Marcy_Vargas88 on Twitter. She is a Packer fan from Mexico. Well, boo Packers, but thank you, Marcy, for your support of IE Sports Radio and being our fan of the month. Excuse me there. Sorry about that. And without any further ado here then, this show is available for you on Twitter as well. You can follow this show at IESR Neutral Zone. I am at Adam_Karnick. Zach is at The Pupless. And with that, let's get underway, shall we?
Let's.
All right, and I see the chat room was already buzzing quite a bit as we get started. If you are listening to us live here tonight on Tuesday night in the Spreaker.com app, go ahead, log on in. You can make a username from there. You can join the chat along with Taryn and Larry. Taryn is lamenting the Anaheim Ducks at the moment. Yes, they are struggling, to say the least, right now. It is currently for the Anaheim Ducks, as I pull up the current NHL standings. Let's see, where are the Ducks? Where did they disappear to? Way down at the bottom there in the Western Conference. It is 4 straight losses for the Ducks, but just 1 win in their last 10 games. Yuck. But we won't be spending too much time on the Ducks tonight because we've got a lot of division leaders going on playing games tonight in the NHL. We've got the Colorado Avalanche are going to be taking on the Calgary Flames here in just in a little bit here. I'm surprised the puck hasn't dropped. Well, they're operating on hockey time in Calgary. I'm sure they'll drop the puck here in about 5 minutes or so. So we've got a couple of division leaders taking on each other there. You've also got going on tonight the Rangers and the Penguins going on right now. They've got about 10 minutes left to go in the third. The Rangers are up on the Penguins 3-1. You've got the Panthers currently beating the Canadians. Lots going on tonight. But let's start, Zach, with the Penguins because they're losing tonight to the Rangers, but they put a whooping on your Red Wings over the weekend on Sunday. If you somehow missed it, Evgeny Malkin came back with a vengeance. He had been sick. A hat trick plus an assist as the Penguins beat the Red Wings 11-2. 11. They put up a touchdown before Detroit scored. It was 6-0 at one point in the game. Frankly, I give Detroit a little bit of credit for scoring at all in that one.
Right.
Zach, how?
Well, I'm kind of glad I had a friend invite me over to his house to hang out. Because I would have been. I probably would have turned it off at 6-0 at that point.
I mean, I've witnessed some blowouts. I've seen blowouts. Fortunately, I haven't been to one. Well, I went to a Notre Dame game that fairly quickly turned into a blowout. I haven't been to an NHL blowout. 11's a ton. Larry, at least someone can score touchdowns in Detroit. Oh, wait. Whoops.
Ouch. Dagger right to the heart, Larry. Oh, it hurts. Pittsburgh's not the best team, but they're definitely one of the better teams. I mean, you look at their record, they're 40-17-10. I mean, you basically, like, the entire roster got goals. I mean, including Malkin with his hat trick. Kapanen, Bluger, Malkin ×3, Carter, Rust, Crosby got in on it, Heinen, Boyle, Raquel. Like,
It was 9 guys to get to those 11 goals too. It wasn't like Malkin and Crosby both had hat tricks and then, they found a couple people. No, it was everybody.
8, but yeah.
Oh, Larry. Yeah. Larry translated that score into football for us. 77-14.
Oh my God! Wow. What's the conversion rate? What are we using?
I'm assuming he's counting a goal as a touchdown.
Okay.
But yeah, that's a whooping. That is a flat out back of the woodshed whooping.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've seen barn burners where 5, 6, 7 goals, maybe 9, but 11, like, holy crap. But yeah, it's just, I guess, looking at all the different names on who scored, they just equally balanced, and it doesn't matter which line it is. It seems like anybody can score.
I'm thinking right now, though, that Pittsburgh would have liked to have saved some of those goals for their game tonight. Though they did, it's 3-2 right now in Pittsburgh. The Rangers are winning, but the Penguins did just score. Sidney Crosby scored, so they're on the power play, so they're now just within a goal. Chris Kreider has scored for the Rangers. Go figure. He's got 45 goals now on this season for the Rangers. So if you're Pittsburgh, though, I think you would have liked to have carried some of those over for tonight.
Yeah. Wow. So the article I'm seeing says Mike Sullivan has spent the last 5 months praising his team's resilience. So longtime Pittsburgh Penguins head coach expected a, quote, spirited response after watching his club get pushed around by the Rangers on Friday night. What Sullivan got Sunday against Detroit wasn't resilience so much as dominance.
Yeah.
The kind that provided a reminder that when healthy and in full flight, the Penguins remain as dangerous as ever.
Oh yes. Oh yes. They are definitely not. You can't sleep on Pittsburgh, unfortunately. They are currently second in the Metropolitan. They're only 5 points back of Carolina. Carolina's got a game in hand, so we'll see how that all plays out. So certainly this is an important game for Pittsburgh tonight as they are trying to come back against the Rangers. All right, so I dogged on your team a little bit. It's only fair that I then dog on my Blackhawks. But this is now, I think this is now 2 episodes in a row I've been able to bring up the Blackhawks and not get angry at stupidity off the ice. So progress here. Progress. Instead,
you just get angry at stupidity on the ice.
Exactly. I can now get angry about on ice stupidity. That feels so much better.
Against the Sabres? That's what you're talking about?
Not only the one against the Sabres. Last night, the Blackhawks last night against Buffalo. And by the way, if you want to catch up on Buffalo, earlier on Tuesdays, we have the Buffalo Huddle now. Patty loves talking about the Sabres. I know she talked about the Sabres during her show tonight, and she talked about this game specifically. The Blackhawks led in this one 3-0. Actually, excuse me, it was 4-0 Chicago. They lost in regulation, 6-5.
Ooh.
Buffalo scored 6 out of the final 7 goals. Another 11 goals. This time was between both teams, though. Oh,
ouch!
And we've got in the chat room now. Kyle Henderson is jumping in. He's warning Larry. Now you got to be careful talking about those Detroit teams. They bite kneecaps over there.
You know it.
And we all know too that we're going to get to see and hear lots of that because your Lions are now going to be on Hard Knocks. I'm sure you're going to be talking about that on Thursday in Lions, Tigers, and Wings. Oh my!
Yes, and they're hosting the 2024 NFL Draft.
I highly suspect that those two things are related.
Right, yeah.
So, yes, you do always have to be careful when talking about Detroit teams for that exact reason. But apparently you can't sleep on Buffalo teams either. The Hawks were up 4-0 and lost 6-5. And the way they lost, I'm going to see if I can get this to play. I've got it pulled up on my phone. The way things are working, this should work. So let's see if we can get this to play for just a second.
Okay.
Hopefully there's not an ad. Oh, there's an ad. Of course there's an ad. Well, I can mute the ad for a second. So I apologize. I thought it would just go straight to the highlight and we'd get to hear it. The score, the winning score by Taga Thompson, here we go, was just frankly absurd how it goes in with about 12 seconds left in the game. The Sabres, Taga Thompson scores the game-winning goal. Let's see if I can get this to play. Now, Zach, it's going to be come through on your speaker, so lay out for a second.
Okay.
Oh, and it's not going to play because of the way I've got everything hooked up. I apologize. I will just share it and tweet it out on the show's Twitter page. Again, IESR Neutral Zone. Thompson broke his stick. However, the puck then bounces off the boards, deflects off the goalie, and goes in. It's a crazy, crazy goal. And a heck of a way for Buffalo to win. And from my perspective, for Chicago to figure out yet another way to lose.
Well, looking at the goal, or at the score, honestly, I thought it was a barn burner. But then to hear you say that Chicago had a huge lead and they blew it, like, oh my God, that's crazy.
Oh, yeah. That wasn't the only one they had over the weekend. Oh, no. Chicago had 2 games where they just flat out could not hold on to a lead to save their lives. Against Vegas on Saturday night, they blew a multi-goal lead. In that one, the Hawks were up 3-0. Now, Kyle in the chat, he's going to be hosting Sin City Sports coming up right after us. I'm sure he's excited about how the game went on Saturday. I was decidedly a little less excited. Chicago in this one was up 3-0 heading into the third and lost 5-4 in overtime.
Ouch.
I'm sorry. I'm saying the name wrong. Taryn, thank you for telling me I've got it wrong. Give me the phonetic. Give me the phonetic there. I'm sorry. I'm saying Mr. Henderson's name wrong. I apologize. Give me the pronunciation guide there, Taryn. I'm sorry. While we're getting that, and we were talking about Vegas last week about how they had the issue with the trade.
Kale, I remember. Yeah.
Cale Henderson. I'm sorry, Cale. I apologize. Reading my notes wrong. The player that was all behind that trade gone wrong, Evgeny Dadonov. Yeah, he had the game-winning goal.
Oh.
He gets told, no, you must play for the Golden Knights. He then turns around and in his first game back after being told this is your team now, he has an assist on the first goal and scores the game winner in overtime.
Wow.
And wins first start of the game.
What was the reasoning behind that? Why couldn't he be traded?
He has a limited no-trade clause, and the NHL determined that... I'm trying to say this nicely. Basically, Vegas didn't honor his limited no-trade clause, so they tried moving him outside of the parameters of his no-trade clause. So they were trying to illegally moving him.
Typically, your no-trade clause, or if it's a limited one, if I happen to need to be traded, I agree to go here, here, and here, and they basically pick the team outside of those or something.
Effectively.
Okay, gotcha.
So yeah, it was such a fun last couple of days for the Blackhawks as they blew not one. So your team got just barn burned and blasted out of the sky. They've now got a couple days to recover. They play the Rangers tomorrow night. On the Rangers will be on the second end of a back-to-back. The Redwings will have had a couple nights off. The Blackhawks decided to get blown out to blow leads not once but twice over the weekend. So all kinds of fun all the way around. Oh yeah.
I'm glad I was over at my buddy's house watching Ted Lasso instead.
There you go. Probably a little less painful for you. So yes, it was a wild weekend in the NHL and a wild night tonight. Some big games going on. The Hurricanes and the Lightning are tied at 3 with just under 9 minutes to go. So a couple of definite Eastern Conference playoff teams taking each other on there. And, of course, the Rangers and the Penguins continuing to do battle
Colorado
as well.
And Calgary kicked off yet or not?
They have. They are halfway through the first period, no score.
Yep, 0-0, 10 minutes. Yep, okay.
All right, and with that, I think we will take our first break tonight. When we come back, we're going to transition out of the pro game and talk about some of the college hockey going on a little bit. We've got the Frozen Four, the men's Frozen Four to talk about on the other side of a break. This is the Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We will be back right after this.
What's happening, sports fans? Are you a fan of Southern California sports? Are you looking for a show hotter than a hot summer day in California? Then look no further than the SoCal Supreme Sports Show, where I talk about all things Southern California sports. That's right, all sports teams from Southern California. From the hard-hitting tackles of the NFL, to the killer crossovers and big three-pointers of the NBA and WNBA, to the grand slams of the MLB, to the bone-chilling goals of the NHL, and to the booming kicks of the MLS, the SoCal Supreme Sports Show has it all for you. Oh, and let us not forget about the college sports as well. So join me, Taryn Rodriguez, every week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hey there, sports fans. Are you looking for a sports show that maybe isn't 100% about sports?
Then you might want to check out the Sports Couple Perspectives right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Most sports shows cover only scores and stats, and while we're not opposed to that, we dig a little deeper into sports issues and some of the hottest topics in athletics.
In addition to sports, we take a journey through my neck of the woods, pulp culture, with movie reviews of both sports and non-sports films.
Speaking of pop culture, make sure to participate in our game nights, where we quiz each other on our specialties, and you, the listeners, can win IE Sports Radio apparel.
We always have a great time learning more about each other's worlds, one show at a time.
So join us each week on the Sports Couple Perspectives, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hi everybody, it's Calvin here from USRN, here to give you an important message. Since 2017, we have done our absolute best to provide you with nothing but the highest quality of sports calls in the greatest of quantity possible. Thanks to you, our station has grown more than we ever thought. That's why, with your help, we would like to grow even further. Just think, twice the amount of your favorite calls, 24 hours of coverage, talk shows, play-by-play, game-by-game analysis, and so much more. That's right, USRN2 is officially in development, but we can't do it alone. We have set up a GoFundMe page that you can access from our homepage on the left of your screen. We also are planning special giveaways and prizes to our highest donors. Our goal here at USRN is to bring you the best calls possible at no cost to you. In order to continue to do that, we need your help now. Please check out our GoFundMe page, and if you would like to know how you can help, you can email usrnradio@gmail.com. Without your support, we couldn't do what we do.
Are you a Minnesota sports fan? If you are, you should join me, AJ, on my Thursday night podcast called Frozen Takes with AJ on IU Sports Radio. I talk about all things Minnesota sports, from the Vikings to Lynx basketball. Every week I talk about the good and the bad of sports in the land of the frozen lakes. Join me Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time for your Minnesota sports show on IU Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Motorsports takes many forms, and there's one show on IE Sports Radio that's ready to cover it all. I sure hope you're talking about you and I, Daryl, because I know the Extra Mile is the best place to go for everything motorsports related.
Yes, it is. From NASCAR to IndyCar to sports cars to everything in between, IE Sports Radio has everything covered for the fastest sport in the world.
Plus, don't forget all of our random shenanigans along the way.
That's right, Caitlin. So for plenty of motorsports coverage and plenty of Caitlinisms, check out the Extra Mile on IE Sports Radio with Daryl Kinsey Jr. and Caitlin Seen, Thursdays at 8 p.m.
And welcome back into the Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. So it was a busy weekend in the NHL, but it wasn't just busy in the NHL. The NCAA Men's Frozen Four tournament got underway this past weekend. Zach, get us caught up. Tell us everything that happened in the world of the Men's Frozen Four.
Yes, sir. Let's see here. One region had Michigan, the number 1 seed, defeating number 4 American International 5-3, followed by Quinnipiac, number 2 seed, defeating St. Cloud State, the number 3 seed, 5-4. Quinnipiac is actually, fun fact, is in the same basketball conference as March Madness darling St. Peter's. Let's see. Denver, the number 1 seed in the other bracket, they defeated UMass Lowell, number 4 seed, 3-2. Number 2 Minnesota Duluth defeated number 3 Michigan Tech, 3-0. On the opposite side of your bracket, number 1 Western Michigan defeated number 4 Northeastern, 2-1. And number 2 Minnesota beat number 3 Massachusetts, 4-3. And your last bracket here, last region, number 1 Minnesota State beat number 4 Harvard, 4-3. And number 3 Notre Dame beat number 2 North Dakota, 2-1. So let's work our way backwards then. So Minnesota State advanced, they're number 1. Number 3 Notre Dame advanced. Minnesota State won that game 1-0 to advance to the Frozen Four. They will be facing the winner of Western Michigan and Minnesota. Minnesota won that matchup 3-0. So you got on one semifinal, Minnesota, number 1 Minnesota State, and number 2 Minnesota. So we're guaranteed a team from Minnesota in the finals playing for the national title. On the opposite side, Denver moved on. They're number 1 to play number 2 Minnesota Duluth. Denver won that matchup 2-1. And Michigan, number 1, moved on to play number 2 Quinnipiac. And Michigan won 7-4. Woo!
Ouch.
Yeah. I wonder if they were motivated by the Redwings loss. I wonder if that was the same day.
Hold on.
Let's see. It was March 27th. It was Sunday, yeah.
It was.
Go figure. So in your other bracket, you've got all number 1 seeds, Michigan and Denver. The winner is going to go on to play the national championship game. But for the Frozen Four, I mean, it's pretty much all chalk. The only outlier is Minnesota Golden Gophers. They're number 2.
Yeah, taking on in-state rival Minnesota State. So we're guaranteed to see a team from Minnesota. Go figure. It's the state of hockey. And we might see an all Big Ten championship.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it is the land of 10,000 lakes. I suppose they know how to play hockey.
Oh, very much so. Very much so.
Oh, don't you know?
Don't you know? So looking at it then, For you, you mentioned it was fairly chalk. Any surprises for you kind of looking at the bracket or looking at the results for any of these teams?
It didn't surprise me at all that Notre Dame moved on. I mean, they've been decent in their career as a Big Ten member in hockey. Western Michigan, ever since I was playing, or ever since I was at Michigan State watching state play, as part of the CCHA, Western has always had a good program ever since then, and it's been 10, 11 years since I graduated. So, so no surprise there with Western. Again, it's Minnesota. We're not really surprised that teams from Minnesota are winning hockey.
Right.
You and I talked about Denver last week, about the teams out west. That's one of the few outliers that they have success out there. So we're not really surprised to see them in the final. There was, Minnesota Duluth beating Michigan Tech. The battle of Superior, basically.
Right.
3-0, Minnesota Duluth won that one. So again, northern teams, not really surprised there. That one could have gone either way. Probably one was the 2, one was the 3 seed. Quinnipiac and St. Cloud State was a burner 5-4, and even the first Michigan game was 5-3 against American International, and even the second round one with Michigan 7-4. But I mean, Michigan's got so many pro prospects on it that it wouldn't surprise me if they'd win the whole thing.
Well, that'll certainly keep you busy and occupied, as you'll get to talk about them both 2 times next week. You get to talk about them on this show and then again on your own show on Thursday night.
Well, 3 times if you include 2 nights from now.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. So many opportunities to talk Michigan hockey. It'll be amazing.
Right. Well, here, just listen to some of the names. Like, I've heard some of these names already with, NHL drafts, and it's different compared to the NFL and everything, because sometimes they go back in and then play. They get drafted, but then they go back to college. But like Owen Power, Luke Hughes, who else? Those are 2 of the big names on Michigan's team. But in that game against Quinnipiac, Owen Power, let's see here, he had 4 assists. Luke Hughes had 1 assist. Your goals came from Nolan Moyle, Jimmy Lambert, Garrett Von Wee, Thomas Bordelot maybe, Brendan Brisson, and Michael Pastujov.
All the fun hockey names we get to say.
All the fun what? I'm sorry.
All the fun hockey names we get to say.
Yeah, for sure. So Michigan does have some pro prospects, but it seems like again, they had equally balanced scoring from elsewhere on the team to power them to the Frozen Four. Because, think about it. Like, think about any defensive game plan. You're gonna want to stifle their stars, and that's exactly what they did.
It doesn't matter what level of hockey you're playing. The more lines you're able to roll out there effectively, if you're able to go 2, 3, 4 lines deep, you become really hard to stop.
Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, we're in for some good matchups in the Frozen Four. I mean, like I said, it's all chalk. So, definitely some good matchups with Minnesota State, all Minnesota semi, and then could be an all Big Ten final.
And the Frozen Four is Thursday, and the championship is Saturday, correct?
I haven't memorized my April calendar yet. Let's see. So it is. So yeah, Thursday, and then the finale is going to be Saturday. Yes.
So
Next
the 7th
week.
and the 9th.
Next
And
week.
Next Thursday, next Saturday. And it's coming to you from Boston, Massachusetts.
The Garden, a beautiful place to play hockey games right there in the Garden.
They might have some wicked Ristas there even.
They might. I wonder if they'll remember to protect the 5-hole.
Right.
We're making terrible in-jokes about our own drop that we recorded last week. Don't worry, once the drop starts making its way around IE Sports Radio, those two jokes we just made will make a lot more sense. Just trust us on this.
We're just giving them a little tease, that's all, you know.
Exactly. Also going off the rails. Something we're very adept at in this show.
Right. Hey, we're doing pretty good tonight.
We are. We're staying on track. And along with staying on track, we're going to try and stay on time, too, because Kale is coming up right after us to talk all things Las Vegas sports and Sin City sports right after us. So with that in mind, let's take our second break. And then when we come back, the NHL's general managers all got to meet in sunny Florida in person for the first time since the pandemic. There's some changes coming down the pipeline of the hockey world. We will discuss some of those things next. This is the Neutral Zone on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What is going on, everybody? My name is Harrison Glazer, and we're coming at you from the Show That Never Sleeps podcast. I cover the Jets, the Islanders, the Nets, and the Yankees.
This is Pierre Moss, and I cover the Mets, Knicks, Rangers, and the Giants.
Our show is live every Wednesday through Spreaker and a bunch of other ways to get our content. Again, we're the Show That Never Sleeps podcast. We talk about all those New York sports. It's a lot of fun. We get into all of it. Please tune in. Again, that's Wednesdays at 6 p.m.
And we look forward to having you guys right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hey USRN fans, do you have a product or company you're trying to promote? Look no further. USRN is teaming up with small local businesses trying to establish themselves via online promotion. Let us know if you're interested. Email us at usrnradio@gmail.com to learn more.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Davidson.
It's your boy, Dentarius Lava.
And we are the hosts of Fast Break here on IE Sports Radio, where we discuss everything in the world of basketball from prep to the pros.
You guys should definitely check us out, man. Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We got all the basketball information you guys need, so we look forward to you guys listening in.
And please do, because we are the best basketball show on this side of the Mississippi. And please do check us out on Twitter at FastBreakISR. D-Lock, where's our time again?
8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. That gives you guys plenty of time on a Sunday.
Tune in.
is up, ladies and gentlemen? This is your host, Beantown Brandon from Titletown Sports, right here on the greatest, and I mean the absolute greatest podcast team right here on IESR Sports Radio. That's right. Come join me every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, live from the greatest city on earth, Boston, Massachusetts, here to talk about all things Boston sports. That is right, baby. We get in to talk about some Boston Red Sox, Boston Celtics, Boston Bruins, New England Revolutions, Boston College Eagles, and of course, your host's favorite team of all, the New England Patriots, baby. Woo! That's right. Come join your host, Beantown Brandon, and let's relive all the glory days of the past, all the great championships that we've endured, all the horrible, heartbreaking losses that even yours truly chooses to forget. So you know what? Grab an ice-cold Samuel Adams. Come with me to Faneuil Hall as we go pick up that lobster roll we've been craving earlier in the week. Let's get some clam chowder, warm ourselves up to some Titletown Sports. Any way you like it, we're going to have a blast. So you know what to do. Join your host, Beantown Brandon, every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, coming at you from the home and the heartland of Boston, Massachusetts, to represent your New England and Boston sports. Weekly, right here on Titletown Sports, IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is Boston sports. See you there.
Attention, all sports fans! If you're someone who wakes up each morning with a list of sporting events to go along with your to-do list for the day, then you just might be a diehard. The world of sports is as vast as the ocean is deep, including the major leagues, the minor leagues, the college, and everything in between. This is me, your boy Larry B of IE Sports Radio, welcoming you to join me every Monday evening at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on The Defining Moment, a show that focuses on what really matters in the sports world, sports themselves, and nothing outside of them. Once again, tune in for The Defining Moment with me, your boy Larry B, every Monday evening at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on IE Sports Radio, right here on Spreaker.com. We'll see you there.
And welcome back into the Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. One more quick segment for you here tonight before we make room for Sin City Sports, talking all things Vegas. I am sure they will be talking about Jack Eichel and the Las Vegas Golden Knights over there. They do the Golden Knights do have the night off tonight. Some other games in the NHL. We do have some final scores, so we'll get those real quickly to you. The Boston had a little bit of a surge late, but ultimately they were behind by just too much. Toronto wins that one 6-4 for the win there for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Tampa Bay Lightning and the Carolina Hurricanes battle of two top teams in the East. It went to overtime. Tampa Bay won that one 4-3. Stamkos, the game winner, just 52 seconds into overtime on the power play, got the winner there for the Lightning. The Florida Panthers, the other Florida team, so both Florida teams winning tonight. The Panthers beat the Canadiens 7-4, an easy one there. 46 shots on net tonight for the Panthers. My goodness.
Ooh, wow.
The Rangers held off the Penguins. 3-2 was the final there. Big win for the New York Rangers and a big loss for the Penguins. That's not that's not one that they would have liked, as the Rangers jump the Penguins as a result of that win. The Rangers are now in second place in the Metropolitan, and Pittsburgh falls down to third and loses a point on Carolina. The Rangers are now just 5 points behind the Hurricanes in the Metropolitan. And New York, well, they're happy everywhere in New York because the Islanders also beat the Blue Jackets 4-3. The Blue Jackets, despite getting 45 shots on net, it was not enough, as the Islanders won that one 4-3. I would imagine, yes, Semyon Varlamov, who is not just a trendy brand of vodka, made... I gotta do math. Made 42 saves tonight for the Islanders in their 4-3 win. So some finals across the NHL tonight. The Wild are probably going to win. They're up 4-0 on the Philadelphia Flyers. Avalanche and Flames tied scoreless at the end of the first, and then the Predators are beating the Senators 2-1 at the end of the second. All right, so that gets us caught up on all the scores. Real quickly, the general managers in the NHL got together this weekend, first time since before the pandemic. There are a few changes coming to the NHL here in the near future. 3 big things coming up. We'll go outside of... We'll go... Big hockey first. The World Cup of Hockey is coming back. Gary Bettman has been working with the NHLPA. They've been targeting 2024. The World Cup of Hockey is coming back. They're trying to get it off February of 2024. They are trying to make it look very similar to an Olympic break, so they'd have a couple weeks where there's no NHL games, and players then from NHL teams can go play for their home countries and participate in that tournament. The last time they did this in 2016, instead of having a Team USA and a Team Canada, they did a Team North America. They're not doing that this go around. There will be Team Canada. There will be Team USA this go around. They have not determined what other teams will be competing. Of course, the big question right now is, would Russia be allowed to compete? The International Ice Hockey Federation has, of course, banned Russia from all international play at the moment. We'll see. That's still very much up in the air, obviously. But we've got the World Cup of Hockey coming back. Now looking at just the NHL for a second. We've all seen the last few years, going back about 10 years now, we can come up with teams that have taken advantage of long-term injured reserve. We've talked about this before, how in hockey, a way to maneuver the salary cap is if you have a player injured, you can place them on long-term injured reserve. Their salary now no longer counts against your salary cap. That's standard common practice across a lot of sports. But that player can then come back and still play in the playoffs. In the meantime, that team can spend all that money. It just freed up, and you wind up with teams that are technically over the cap participating in the playoffs with bloated rosters. So, of course, we saw the Tampa Bay Lightning do that last year with Nikita Kucherov. We've seen Vegas is trying to do that this year with Mark Stone and Jack Eichel. We've seen the Blackhawks did it about 10 years ago with Patrick Kane. We've seen teams take advantage of this. The general managers talked about it. The feeling is they can't change anything with this without talking with the union, without collectively bargaining with it. So it will very likely be a hot topic of conversation when the collective bargaining agreement next comes up basically everybody's aware that there is a loophole, and maybe they're going to try and close it. We'll see. But for right now, nothing is changing. And then, speaking of the salary cap, next year the salary cap is going up in the NHL. Hooray! $1 million.
Cost of living adjustment?
Basically, yeah, you get a cost of living raise. So it's not much, but it's better than nothing. Because that is a sign that the league is trending in the right direction. The fact that they're able to increase the salary cap by anything, even just $1 million, is a sign that the league is recovering from the pandemic. They're recovering financially from the pandemic. So that's good. And per capfriendly.com, also, you had 9 teams heading into next season that have literally no cap space. So even just having $1 million gives them some flexibility. I mean, teams like Vegas, Edmonton, Toronto, being able to even just have $1 million, that might allow them to sign, even if it's just a guy, maybe it allows them to sign one guy, or it allows them to, it prevents them from cutting one guy. It's helpful. It's good. So it's a good sign. And
yeah,
with
sure.
And with that, I'm looking at the time. We have to get out of here.
Time flies when you're having fun, right?
Oh, yes. We've got the horn sounding. Well, thank you for tuning in this week to the Neutral Zone. We were able to stay a little bit better on time this week, we hope. Lots that we went over. My goodness. Pro, college, everywhere, everything. Woo! Thank you to our sponsors, the Southern California Warriors, for sponsoring not just this show, but every show on the network. Thank you to Taryn and to Kale and to Larry and to Patty for hanging out with us and listening to us live tonight. Be sure to stick around and listen to Kale and Sin City Sports as he dives into all things happening in the sports world of Las Vegas. I'm sure there will be talk of the Golden Knights there on the show. Thank you to Larry for everything that he does, keeping the network up and running and smooth. Zach, you're on later this week on Thursday night with Lions and Tigers and Wings, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
All right, so be sure to check out Zach on Thursday. Next week, it's just going to be Zach here in this spot. I've got the week off next week. I've got some other gigs going on, so it'll be just Zach next week. Zach, thank you for picking up the baton and going solo next week. What are you thinking you got planned?
Oh, but of course. More Frozen 4 talk, since the games don't actually take place until later next week. Of course, pro roundup and any other good stories. I do, we pick on the Arizona Coyotes, but I actually do have a good story I just found lined up that talks about them wanting to have gaming in their new arena at Arizona State. Maybe it wasn't allowed yet there with colleges or something. So I will tease that right now, and we'll get into it more next week.
All right. A very professional tease there by Zach Kopoulos. All right. That is going to do it for us tonight. Until next time, don't get checked into the board. Stay out of the penalty box. We are the Neutral Zone. Good night, everybody.